Hey everybody, welcome to Out of Memory. I'm AJ Hamilton, and I'm joined today by Christopher Hampson, and as always, Girl on Couch. And as always, I guess you're also here as always, right?
I'm always here.
You're always there.
I'm more there than here, but
that's very true. That's very true. But now we're getting into a little bit of space-time deal.
Super existential.
Exactly. And on this show, guess what we do? We're always making the tough decisions of which memories to keep and which ones to delete from our overstuffed brains.
Hopefully we make that a difficult choice when we go through these and actually apply some knowledge and research and science sometimes.
That's right.
Maybe we don't. Maybe
we try, and that's all that the human can be asked to do. Isn't that true? No. So how are you doing, Chris?
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking me. Right, I took a sip of my beer.
Yes, of course. I like to throw people off their game. More truthful answers that way.
I'm way off my game today, man. Way the hell off.
Oh no,
I'm angry.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm angry about this episode.
Oh God. Well, hey, you calm down. We'll get to the good parts first, then we'll dig into the anger. All right.
It's okay. It's a good anger.
It's
a productive anger, motivating me to talk about some childhood trauma.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Chris, have you ever had your childhood shattered?
More than once.
Okay,
more than once.
Fair enough.
I was going to ask you, have you ever asked for more bad CGI?
Oh, yeah, all the time. Yeah. These days, I love it. Hey, Chris, when did your childhood die?
I would like to think that my childhood is still going.
Oh.
If I'm to answer that rhetorical.
Fair enough.
When you get up in the morning, do you ever make your Keurig pods race?
Boo. Chris, has anything in your life been, as you might refer to it, so wizard?
I hear somebody say something like that, and I want to stab things.
Yeah, the only thing that I can think of is the Fred Savage movie, The Wizard.
But does he say that in it?
No,
I doubt that he does.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Hey,
I almost feel like that just so wizard needs to be thrown into a research phase, because where the fuck did that come from? Like, something is so wizard.
I feel like that kid just made it up on the day. That's all his contribution to the entire movie was. Hey, what's the most subtle racism that you can make millions of dollars off of?
Subtle racism?
Or not so subtle racism.
I guess liquid around.
Blatant, awful, oh God.
You ever had a perfect story and then you try to add to it and you just fuck it up real good?
Oh yeah, all the time. In fact, the story of my life, just like after I made any choice ever. Hey, are you or have you ever been a member of the Galactic Senate? That's kind of a callback, to the, have you ever been part of the Communist Party? Because it's worse.
Is it? There's persecution involved with that?
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess there is. Have you or anybody that you know been diagnosed with midi-betes?
What is that?
It's when you have too high of counts of midichlorians. It's very serious. You have to take lightsaber injections, and I can't do this. I can't do this episode, man.
Midichlorians makes that killed me right there. That is the breaking point of me. Damn it, guys, have you figured it out yet? Have you figured out, other than by probably reading the title of this episode, what this episode is about?
Oh yeah, I kind of always forget about that. That's what they're like tapping on here.
Yeah,
is the name of it.
Hey, maybe they went in here blind. It's fine. Hey,
the lead-in is for us.
Yeah, so. It really is. We're fucking around. It's fun.
We're doing both.
Yeah. We're talking about Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
The Phantom Dentist. because watching that was like pulling teeth.
Oh, I like that. That's a good one. At first I thought you were, I want to be a dentist. The misfits. This
Harvey doesn't want to make toys.
Well, yeah, this is a difficult episode to talk about.
Why did we do this to ourselves?
You know what? It's a significant part of our childhood. All right.
I think it's just time it's time to talk about it.
It is.
It's been 17 years.
Yes.
When did it come out? 2001.
2001, I think. Yeah.
Right.
Or maybe 90. I don't know.
Maybe
it happened.
2000.
99, I think. And it came out right after the. I don't know if the special editions were necessary. Where do you fall on that?
I do have special memories of the special edition.
Yeah.
I wish I didn't say special twice in the same sentence.
It's fine. You said it 3 times.
But no, my uncle who loves Star Wars, and he would often put Star Wars on for my brother and I. He would pick us up after school on the premiere of the special editions, and we'd like go to like a nice theater in the city before they closed the nice theaters in the city.
Yeah, they're gone.
Yeah. And yeah, we would watch it, and we'd talk about it like before the movie and after the movie, and like made a whole day of it. So
nice.
They hold a special edition place in my heart. Though, I mean, like actually looking back at it, like a lot of the special edition enhancements beyond just audio and visual, not good at all.
Not necessary.
In fact, awful.
Even
really bad.
Yeah.
Especially A New Hope, throwing Jabba in there was really hard to take.
Was because I had been raised. I had never seen them in theaters, but I had been raised on videotapes and watching the reruns of them on like Saturday afternoon movie marathons or whatever. That's how I had always experienced it, and so to have them updated in these like significantly different sometimes. Ways, like you're saying, the Jabba the Hutt, that changed the whole movie for me. It was very weird. Han shooting first. They
did put that.
They
in there,
changed. They changed him. They had him shoot second. It's not and like weird dodging and. I mean, back then, maybe we were like, oh my God, what he's done is amazing. Because he had added in a few more CGI characters and stuff like that. But that was, I don't think it was necessary. And I don't think it added as much as he thought it would.
No, it really takes away from Han Solo being this scoundrel and cowboy of space.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, certain things like, yes, they improved the lightsaber battles, and they improved what space looked like in a way. And I think those subtler improvements were great, but adding in that singer, that jazz singer, oh good lord,
yeah, I know.
No reason for that. Come on.
No, I prefer the regular awful music.
Yeah,
but I totally agree with you. Seeing it in the theater was a different experience than like watching it over and over on tape.
Yes.
Like even distinctly, I remember the scrolling text. Like I felt like the scrolling text was actually like out in space and like moving away from me.
It was epic, man. I mean, he had created something that it made no sense that it was that good and that impactful in society. But it will always, as it was in the 70s and 80s, it will always hold a place in my heart.
Sure. Episode over.
Yep. That said, though,
do we have to talk about the Phantom Menace?
Yeah, right after the special editions came out in '99, we had the prequels, and let's not shit all over it right at the beginning. Let's say, hey,
no, I'm gonna shit over it because
all the way through.
I believe that these prequels would not have ever been made if some weird, for whatever weird reason, George Lucas back in 1970X had put episode 4 in front of his first movie. It's And I know that like that caused, fans to want to know what happened in the beginning and blah, blah, blah. And so like that just gave them the excuse to do it. But yeah, had they not done that, we might have only had like one prequel movie that had come out after the sequels.
Right.
20 years later, 30 years later.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. Something to the effect of Rogue One or something like that, which, I mean...
I would have been fine with it.
That's kind of why we're talking about it right about now, is because the Solo story is coming out, and I don't think I'm gonna. I don't know. I don't want to predict anything, but I liked that the Rogue One thing was standalone. I don't think we needed to know the 3 movies of prequel information about Darth Vader, or at least not in the form that they gave us. I think
okay. How about we have three prequel movies about Darth Vader?
Oh my God, right?
Instead of Anakin Skywalker, I would have preferred that.
Or at least, what he is after the third one. Into like, he must have been a badass. There are, I don't know if you know this, but there are comic books they are prequels to the 4, 5, and 6, and they're about Darth Vader being Darth Vader and him training and everything like that. That's what I wanted.
We're getting into some very nerdy, but also non-canon area right now. Fair enough.
Well,
but yes, I totally understand what you're saying, and I would agree with that too.
So when in 98, 99, the internet was wonderfully fast. We had the 128 kilobytes download speeds, and that's when the trailer came out, and it took forever to download from the episode 1 website, but it was badass. They had cut it together with the John Williams score, which, do an impression of it right now.
You mean the song?
The song. Exactly.
Yeah. I knew a storyboard artist that every time that he is explaining one of his action sequences, he makes that sound.
Well, because it matches, it is so energetic, and they just showed the best parts, the best clips from this new world that they were creating, and it looked like a cool new addition to the Star Wars mythos. It wasn't.
It was not.
It was not.
Fuck no.
But they had some.
So we're just to frame this. We're starting with the most difficult part of this podcast, which is we're trying to talk about all the good parts of.
Yeah.
I can't even say it.
Yeah.
There are good parts.
There's acceptable parts.
There are good things about it.
Yeah. I mean, the cast looked pretty good coming out of it. There's Liam Neeson as Qui-Gon Jinn, Ewan McGregor, Natalie Portman, Samuel L. Jackson, even Frank Oz back as the voice of Yoda. I mean,
Keira Knightley.
Keira Knightley, yes, of course, as the fake Natalie Portman.
Yeah, fake Portman. Yeah.
Falseman. But I mean, how could you go wrong? It's a bunch of amazing actors at the time, and this new world that we're like, oh my God, this is going to be amazing. They released all of the toys months before it came out, and I know that I collected a lot of them. There was the communicator that. Each character came with a communicator chip that if you put it doubled as a stand, and it also
doubled as a moneymaker.
Of course it did.
That was the point of this movie. And let's throw that in the good column, that it totally hit its mark.
Yeah, it definitely did.
Especially when you can come out with the toys ahead of the movie and like sell out like they were.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
It was very hard to find most of the toys by the premiere date, and then not as hard afterwards. The communicator, what it was is that you put it on the communicator and it scanned it, and then it said one of their 5 lines of dialogue or something like that. So that was kind of cool. And
I do kind of remember
the designs of the figures were fine, and there were ships and different things, but
Did it have that classic Star Wars figure look to him? Like all of the characters were a little bit beefier than like they were supposed to be.
No, surprisingly, the design and the sculpt of them were quite character specific. So yeah, it was pretty good. I can't believe I'm going to say this. I even enjoyed my Jar Jar Binks character before I knew what he was. Well, I thought it was a very interesting design of a character.
You know what that means, right?
What's that?
Racist. Yeah, that's how they tell. That was a profiling tactic.
Okay, now, okay. I want to talk about this. There were people who saw it initially and absolutely loved it. They saw it a million times, like, right?
Yeah. I know people who saw it 12 times in the theater, and this was in high school. Like, I don't know how they have the means to see a movie that many times.
Yeah.
And it was in theaters for like a year, wasn't it? It was a long time.
It was a long time. It was an event. It was an epic time of our. I know I keep saying epic, but it was this thing that was just rolling through fandom at the time. It was the biggest event in years that had happened, that had brought together the nerds. I mean, people slept out in front of theaters for weeks. That was before you could pre-order tickets.
That was also a profiling tactic.
Nerds! you drive past them and throw tomatoes.
I just had a flashback to Triumph, the talking dog.
Oh, God. So, I mean, right when you walked out of the theater, do you have anything else that were good? I mean, the droids were kind of interesting. I didn't like them talking.
Yeah, I honestly didn't have too much of a problem with the droids. I mean, it was definitely that faceless mass army of just like things to kill foot soldiers, or
I like the rolling droids. That was
choose
cool.
Any Marvel Universe villain problem.
Of course.
I think that there was good character design.
Okay.
And then there was what the movie actually was, but we'll save that for the bad section. We're still talking about things that are good.
Fair enough.
I know that you had pointed out to me offline that this it was good that this was somewhat of a revival of the franchise. So it wasn't like something that just died and was only ever 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
So,
and we wouldn't have the newer ones. I mean, not to say that they've all been great, but it wouldn't have continued on, I don't think, if he hadn't done something with the properties. So,
I feel like at some point somebody would have grabbed it and tried to reboot it.
Yeah.
Maybe
probably
Michael Bay or Michael Bublé. I don't know. The score would have been so much better. Yeah, no, I can. Is that even how it sounds? I think your assumption is that Michael Bublé only sings the word buble.
Buble. That's all jazz singers,
buble,
right?
Buble. Yeah.
And there was also R2D2. He's in literally every episode so far. He was even in Rogue One. So,
I don't think that I can not talk about the bad things anymore. Oh man.
So
let's start with R2D2.
All right.
I think R2D2 being in the prequels.
Yeah.
And I know we're trying to confine just to episode 1.
Yes.
I think that is that's the best way to frame how this movie operated, where if you look at a movie like Rogue One, they took a lot of the elements from the earlier movies and they played with them. They played with small parts of them, and they brought in a lot of things, because the world that they're talking about, or the galaxies that they're talking about, is a very big place. There's lots potentially that could be introduced.
Yeah.
However, episode 1 it's given you such a small scope to view things through. So it's like, oh, okay, well, we gotta have R2D2 in there, and we got to have him do something that people have never seen before. So now he's got all these new abilities. He could shock robots. He's got a fucking jetpack. And
even though it is a prequel, like that's also, I mean, not to step on your idea, but it also is, it doesn't feel like this world or hence the R2-D2 exist pre what it will turn into. It doesn't feel like, I mean, even Tatooine looks, it doesn't even feel like the same tone or the same aesthetics of the Star Wars universe. It feels too clean, and it doesn't feel like in 10 or 20 or 30 years from the first one to the fourth one that it will turn into that world.
No. Oh, and I would say that if we're looking at societies throughout the galaxy spread across the galaxy, I doubt that things are going to change that much to us. Us looking in on a world,
right?
I don't think it would seem like that. Aliens coming to Earth and looking at where we were 30 years ago and compared to now, they probably wouldn't notice a whole lot of differences. So,
right.
I don't know. I think you can fudge a lot of that.
Yeah, but that's
but give us something believable.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the ships are all, they don't even have echoes of what they will become. No. You know, all of the Naboo ships, they don't look a bit like they were created in the same universe or galaxy, as it were, as the new ones, or as the original ones. I don't get it.
To some extent, fine.
Yeah.
Like it's there's a bunch of different, planets and galaxies across the solar system.
Sure.
Fine. You could have things that look different, but I think there's fundamental rules that got, I don't know, rewritten in a sort of way where everything now and every character is a superhero, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah. That's very true. I mean, like the Jedis you're talking about.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's where I feel like the Jedis in the original movies were supposed to be not some superhuman, but just somebody who is connected to the energy of the world and can do small things.
Yeah.
Whereas here they got them jumping and flipping all over the fucking place, and it honestly, it feels like they're pretty much invincible unless they encounter another Jedi.
Yeah, and the way Qui-Gon Jinn goes out is so anticlimactic to all of the lead up to it. I also don't love the idea. I know that there it's probably a prediction or an allegory of Jesus Christ or whatever, but the 90s and up till now are so full of things where there is the one that will change everything. And, it muddles stories so much, I think. And like you were talking about the midichlorians. What a weird thing to have the one, right, to bring balance to the Force, and then completely demystify everything by saying, don't worry about it, it's just science.
It's like George Lucas, like, obviously aged after making the first ones, and he was just like, holy shit, there's some real world things I want to introduce to this world. Governments, microbiology. Superpowers,
the trade and politics.
Love politics. That. But we want to make sure that this is extra gentrified and appropriate for any child, so we can sell this movie to them.
Well, that, and then also we're going to be super inclusive to minorities. I think that's exactly how he said it. He said,
minorities?
I want to represent minorities in this...
like M''NOR.
Yes, that's right. I won't make you finish spelling it. But
I can do it.
My God, there are some awful representations of... I mean, start with the Trade Federation, clearly Asian, right?
Oh, I don't know if we even want to go down this path too much.
I'm not going to do the voices, okay? But then there is the Jewish trader in Watto, the little flying guy on Tatooine, and I mean, of course, Jar Jar Binks being some sort of Jamaican. I mean, they were the most.
Also, can we talk about
horribly broad.
Liam Neeson playing a white guy.
Ooh, yeah, that was way too pigeonholy. Yeah, no, absolutely. No, it's sad that they even that was what they thought that could stand for diversity in the universe. It's like, why even give them...
It was definitely written by an old white person.
Yes, exactly.
From a simpler time. It's almost like the Trade Federation. The only thing they regulated was like galactic racisms.
Yeah, exactly. They were like, this planet will have... I'm not even going to do it. No. Yeah, good. All right. And then...
racist against bears or something.
Thanks.
It's almost like the episode 1 kind of takes all the things that people didn't like about the special edition and then capitalizes on it.
Oh, that's such a good point. Yes, exactly.
Like compound disappointment.
Yeah, I mean, let's have them fight a bunch of CGI underwater monsters. See, that's
lots of CGI.
That's a great idea.
More droids. Let's see. Just make it safer. No bad or good guy can be too bad or good.
Right. Yeah. There's
it's just it's tone deaf.
It's a bunch of gray areas
from where the original movies were.
Right.
Where it was supposed to be rugged and there was supposed to be high stakes. Like nothing. That didn't feel like there was any stakes in this movie.
It didn't feel like a space opera. It felt like a space soap opera almost.
Well, even soap operas though, I think that there's clarity and there's stakes and like you gotta like, oh, I get it, Lisa's cheating with John and like can't have Stacy find out. Those are all white people names, right?
Right.
But here's an example.
Yeah.
Tell me what the plot of Star Wars Episode 1 is in 2 sentences.
Oh God. They don't want to have Trade Federation blockades, and then they fight the Trade Federation to stop that with Anakin. That's they found on the way.
That's pretty much it. And I love that you use the word they because who honestly, like who? It's not like the collection of Jedis got together and were like, we can't have this. Well, actually, I think that actually is exactly what happens.
They do, but it's all. But here's the thing: it's all spread out. We're not necessarily we're supposedly following the Jedi. We're following Ewan McGregor, I guess, and Qui-Gon Jinn. But then
that's a good point. That's a good point. They kind of are the protagonist of the movie.
I would say so.
Anakin is kind of just this side character for the most part.
Yeah, he is. And although I think you're at one point supposed to follow him, and I think that's the thing, is they create a team that is not nearly as dynamic as the 5 or 6 of the characters in the first movie, where you have Han and Chewie and that hook up with Luke and Ben, and
yeah, sexy.
but you're following
someone loses a limb. I can't see that.
You're definitely following Luke through the most of it, and then he starts pairing up with people, and they go on this very straight hero's journey. Or clear hero's journey, not straight necessarily, because who knows where Obi-Wan falls? Who knows? And look at the droids; they're clearly droid sexual. So, right? I don't know where I'm going with this.
Dronosexual,
dronosexual, sure.
No, I think that's some of that is a good point.
Some of it. It's fine.
Where if take the first 15 minutes of episode 1 and compare it to episode 4, where in episode 4 you have a very clear idea of what is happening.
Mm-hmm.
The rebel ship gets captured. Darth Vader gets the princess, but not before she just barely sends the 2 droids away,
right?
And they crash land on the planet, and the Empire is looking for these droids, and they have some kind of plans that the Empire needs, otherwise they're going to be fucked.
Yeah.
And then it goes right into Luke Skywalker. In this movie, if I'm remembering it right, and maybe I should just save this, but they the princess is escaping from something, and they happen to meet up with the Jedi.
Well, the Jedi, no, it's the Jedi. They start out on the Trade Federation ship, and then they start getting attacked by them because they're like, oh, no, you're trying to stop our trade. And then they jump into an escape pod and then land on Naboo, and then something happens, and then they run away from the... God, this is so hard to remember. Then they go and they jump down into the water because they meet Jar Jar, and then those the Naboo say, "Oh, you were supposed to get to the other side of the planet, so I guess you have to take a water trip through the center of the planet."
All of that happens before.
Yeah, and then they go for some reason to somewhere, and I don't know, why did they end up on Tatooine? There's no clear...
The princess had to escape, I think, because the robots came, and the princess flies away, and the Jedi go with her, and then Darth Maul's on a motorcycle in the desert for a second, for some reason.
Of course. I had that toy, by the way. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, because it's a very weird part. Like, he just comes out of nowhere, and then like he tries to grab something. I don't remember what he's trying to grab.
No, he's just trying to follow them. He's like, oh, they're here. I'm gonna send a spy droid, and then he like tries to fight him, but then he doesn't, and then they get away. He's not very good at his job. Like, and he has like 2 lines that were actually not his lines. He didn't. He didn't speak them. The actor Ray Park, who was also Toad in X-Men, X-Men. He gets like 3 lines, and they're all overdubbed by Peter Serafinowicz. How crazy is that?
You know what happens when a lightsaber strikes a Darth Sith leader?
What's that?
The same thing that happens to everything that gets struck by a lightsaber.
It gets cut in half. Cut in half.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So I hope everybody's seen this.
Yes. Warning our audience about spoilers here.
Yeah.
Oh God. So I'm so angry, and this movie made me feel embarrassed while I was watching it.
Yeah.
Like when that kid flies into the he's just mashing on controls, and it flies him automatically into like the enemy spaceship, and he blows the whole fucking thing up.
Yeah,
somehow,
of course,
and flies out. He's like, "Wow, cool,
wizard!"
I felt embarrassed. I felt fucking embarrassed.
Yeah.
I felt like a wizard.
But it doesn't make any sense. They were absolutely trying to go for a money grab with the relatable to a little kid, I guess. Was it kind of like was it similar to starting Harry Potter out at 10 so that they could grow with the series? It doesn't even make sense.
No,
it's just so bad.
Harry Potter was way better.
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is.
I would watch any Harry Potter 10 more times than I would watch this once.
Yeah.
But I guess that's a good lead in for what the fuck we're gonna do for researching this. Obviously, I guess
we're gonna force ourselves
watch this thing.
Watch it.
But I would also like to watch. Isn't there like there's a cut of this movie that's supposed to be good, right?
No.
No, I thought there was. I thought there was some kind of like there's somebody who took the movie and they recut it and they made it like 20 minutes long, and it was like a good version of it.
There is a super cut that actually somebody, I think Seth Green, but I don't know if that's accurate. I think he made a super cut of all 3 episodes into one, and it's like a 2-hour long movie.
All right.
So, that might be interesting. We might look for a pirate version of it. But don't do that.
We don't endorse that.
No, we don't.
No.
We're ghosts. So,
and that's why this is the Phantom Menace.
Ooh, nice. Also, tying it back.
Why was it called the Phantom Menace? I have to figure that out because I really don't know.
That is something we will research as well. Yeah. There's going to be a lot of research on this one.
Is it unfair to do this as an episode? I feel like I feel like I'm going to want to delete this. Maybe it's not bad. Maybe it's aged really well. Maybe all the racism is super tasteful now.
Yeah, our memories are wrong. That's what it is. Burned into the awfulness of Jar Jar Binks is seared into our minds. But
no, I forgot about Jar Jar for at least 10 minutes.
Sorry, man.
Let's do this thing. Stay tuned for more flipping, jumping, lightsaber waggling, ponytails, Metaglorean counting, and trade races. Out of memory. Well, welcome back, all of you heathens and gluttons of punishments who probably saw all the prequels of Star Wars.
Good Lord. Who hasn't?
I'm pretty sure there's no Lord after seeing this.
No. I am in preparation for this episode and watching this movie, I bought some Angry Orchard just to be cute about it. And as much as I wasn't as angry as I was just incredibly bored by this viewing.
I was grossly fascinated.
Okay.
I wasn't as angry or embarrassed as I thought that I might be, but maybe only because I've gone through this before and I know what to expect. But Jesus Christ, like I don't understand how a movie that was so well anticipated and had so much money behind it, could be so poorly structured.
Well, this was the first Star Wars movie that Lucas solely wrote and directed since the first one. The first one was apparently his good idea. Then he brought in other people to write the fifth and sixth chapters, and he didn't. I don't think he directed either of them. Wait, no, he directed them, but he didn't write them.
But it was too late. Ideas led to production. Production led to bringing in friends. Friends led to George Lucas starting on episode 4. Prequels led to all of us suffering.
Exactly. I think the thing is that he was so revered for his genius that there was nobody sort of reining him in. They were just like, yeah, no, this is all
Let's call this the M. Night Shyamalan effect. Yeah. Because that same shit happened to him too.
Very true.
Yeah. It was Sixth Sense, which was practically the same kid.
I mean, but a much better actor in that one.
Honestly, like, it was the same kid type.
Yes.
And maybe that's what they were going for. I honestly, like, and sorry to jump right into Anakin, but I mean, fuck. It's almost like they, like, it was like a nephew of his that he was just like, oh yeah, well, we can put him in there. It'll probably be fine. He looks like Haley Joel Osment.
Well, there are rumors that he was an amazing auditioner, but when he got on set, he was very, very intimidated, which...
So was Pinocchio.
Oh, God, this kid is just... every single one of his lines takes me out of the movie.
Yeah, I read something that, like, one of the first scenes with Natalie Portman and this kid in it, they did something like 7 takes for him and 15 takes for Natalie Portman, because, like, the chemistry was not there, and they ended up just splicing it together. Like, here's your best shot, here's your best shot. And it's just
that was one of my things. Why did they make Anakin so young? Because they're apparently supposed to fall in love, and they seem in the second and third movie to be around the same age. Well, the actors in this first one were 8 years difference.
That's it. It felt like a lot more.
It felt like a lot more, but she was in high school. She actually
go ahead. Yep,
she couldn't go to the premiere because she was studying for her finals.
Shame. Oh, sorry.
And that, yes.
I have a theory behind that also, but Let's go through the movie in a linear fashion, and
sure,
we'll fucking get to that. Cue the shitty music.
So I wanted to go through the opening crawl. I think you have something to say about this as well, but
yes, boo.
There's boo indeed. Boo, yes, boo indeed. There is I highlighted my not favorite parts, but the good parts, the Star Wars parts, and the boring shit. So turmoil has engulfed the Galactic Republic. That's cool. Then the taxation of trade routes? Shut up. Nobody cares. Then to outlying star systems. Yes, of course, we love outlying star systems. Is in dispute. Nobody cares about that. Then hoping to resolve the matter with the blockade of, deadly battleships. That's cool. Then the greedy Trade Federation.
That's one of my favorite George Bushy lines that he's thrown in there.
Right? I mean, what...
Was this pre 9/11?
Yes, it was. It came out in 99. And then,
I think pre 9/11 is the perfect title for this movie.
Jesus Christ. Then the Congress of the Republic endlessly debates. That is so scary because you think, this is just getting that out of the way so that we don't have to worry about the endless debates. No, we're going to get that.
That's really supposed to get you all hot and bothered wanting more. That's just a taste, baby.
And then it says, this alarming chain of events, the Supreme Chancellor has secretly dispatched 2 Jedi Knights, the guardians of peace and justice in the galaxy, to settle the conflict. That gets me in it. But there's an interesting thing.
That highlights exactly what I had talked about in the first half, is that line alone is like, oh shit, well now they're taking the Jedi and they're making them something that's like superhero-esque.
Or
all right. Okay.
Or just like gunslingers in the West.
Yeah.
There was a weird I was listening to some of the commentary, and the guy was like, we screwed around with the music in the beginning, and people just like were not, they cheered at the Lucas logo, and then they didn't cheer again until maybe Obi-Wan showed up, and I didn't know why. And I was like, weird. It's because you have a boring ass scroll. Like, the crawl is dumb.
Yeah.
Nobody's excited for that. This doesn't sound like, there's a war. No, this is just like politics. No, this is
taxation and greedy trade federation and Congress. Like, and then the movie starts in a very confusing way.
Yeah. I mean, it's a spaceship, so that's supposed to be fun. But then it's these guys arguing and quibbling over what their negotiations are going to be like, and it bored the hell out of me. And then we get Darth Sidious, which is like, this might be interesting, but it's not.
I found a lot of the very first part of the movie, which I think is the second most important thing in a story that you're telling, is how you open something. But just that you reveal all of these main characters in pretty much the very beginning, except for Anakin.
Right.
And Darth Maul a little bit later. Yeah. And all of them have such shitty reveals.
Yeah.
The Jedis are the only one that have kind of a mysterious reveal where, you see them with their cloaks up and they uncloak, and then you get a sense of like who their characters are, what the dynamic is between them. They disagree with each other on points of view. But the Trade Federation is just like, well, here they are on a projection. Queen Amidala, here she is in a very small projection. The Emperor, very small projection. Like, where's the grandiose, like, this is a big fucking deal? Like, you get no sense of like power.
No, it's just like, all talking and these boring sort of
they feel like sub characters, like just like like pawns in this scheme that really the story is just basically the Jedis and Anakin, and these two stories do not fit well together.
No,
they're forced.
Oh my god, yeah. I mean,
no.
Yeah. I get it. But it doesn't feel like we start off in the fourth, and I know we don't have to keep comparing it to the pre or the originals, but there is a a sense of urgency. It starts out with Vader boarding the ship. There is a real sense of urgency, and all of the battles that we see in this seem to just be taking place kind of middling in between a lot of stretches of procedural shit that nobody cares about. Everybody just wants the fighting. They want a very simple, structured story, and not all of this minutia about regulations and whether or not Anakin is old enough or not. Like, even if the discussions in the Jedi Council are kind of they're about Jedis, so yay, we can listen to that. It's in the middle of all of this other governmental shit that's just boring, and I hate it.
Yeah, the story here hinges on this governmental bullshit that's going back and forth, and it segues into each piece from scene to scene in a very weird way.
Yeah,
but the after the reveal of the Jedi, they immediately try to kill them.
Yeah,
and they, as soon as they I think something blows up, which I don't understand why they blew up their ship, why they didn't just like take the 4 people that were on their prisoner, since they have a shitload of droids.
Right, or
But they blow it up. The Jedi jump out of their seats and draw their laser swords. There's no enemies in the room, but they draw their fucking swords.
Right, of course.
They're jumpy. And then they immediately gas them, which the gas coming through that vent is the only shot in the whole movie that doesn't have special effects.
Are you kidding me?
That's the only shot.
My God.
Yeah.
Well, good for them for limiting themselves.
Yeah.
Well, that always confused me. I was like, wait, why are you gassing them and then you open up the doors and send in droids to check on them? They could have just locked them in.
They have to be dead by now.
Sure.
So like, let's even say that 5 minutes went by.
Yeah.
And so you get that sense that they're like superhuman because they've just been sitting
hold
there.
Their breath.
However, I did notice something, like when they go down to Naboo,
yes,
and then they just like jump in the water with fucking Jar Jar Binks.
The rest,
they have that breathing apparatus, and I was like, oh shit, I guess that's maybe how they were breathing in the gas. Like, why maybe they anticipated that it was a trap and brought it with them.
I think it would have been cool. I think it would have been cool if they had them as they stepped out of the gas and then took them out, because then that would have made sense. Why? Because it doesn't make sense why they are in a spaceship and then they have some sort of respirator to go underwater later.
Yeah,
but whatever.
Why can't they just force push all the gas back in the vents?
Right,
they're superheroes, right?
Yeah.
Why didn't he just chop a hole in the door like he did later on?
Right, exactly. We don't know what the limits of their superpowers are.
They have no limits, as far as I'm concerned. For like as crazy as the shit gets in the Star Wars universe as it evolves, like it gets pretty fucking ridiculous.
Well, something that pisses me off so much is super speed.
Who has super speed?
They do. When the
you talking about pod racing?
No. When the droidekas, the roller destroyer droids,
which I
in,
like a lot. I
love that design. It's fantastic. Yeah. They're the only ones that you can take seriously in the entire droid army through the show, like the help droid, the gonk droids or whatever,
the Lego droids.
But no,
I have a list of only 4 good things that I liked about this movie, and the shield droids was the first thing.
Hell yeah! But when
the breathing device was number 2 as like a kind of. But I agree with you. They should have been wearing them when they came out of the gas.
But that's when the droidekas come in, they like they flash, they quicksilver it out of there. There's a weird fucking edit where they're out of the thing. They're all the way down the.
I would say, I'll watch that scene again, but I am never gonna go near this. I was so embarrassed checking this out of a public library because I refused to pay for it, and like throwing it in my passenger seat, and people like looking like what I had like obviously gone out of my way to go to the library, because I'm not even dressed to like go to the library. I just came from like the gym, and people are like, Jesus Christ, that's what you came here for?
What are you doing, man? What is your life like?
I know.
They land on the planet, like so they're talking this whole concept about taking over this planet, but it's done in a very we're going to have you sign over the lease to this planet or the rights to this planet. I don't know.
The plot is not very clear at all, as far as at least the Emperor's plot as to what he's trying to do. Like it becomes clear that he's just trying to get elected chancellor. fine.
Sure.
But I still don't see how this is a Phantom Menace.
Well, actually, would you like me to tell you about
enlighten me?
Yes.
Enlighten me, please.
So the Phantom Menace was actually the name of a villain in Flash Gordon comics. The same name used by NASA to refer to the fact that so few of their attempts to send a probe to Mars were successful to the point that the mission seemed cursed.
Interesting.
But the truth is, it's a reference to Palpatine hiding his true identity as an evil Sith Lord behind the facade of a well-intentioned public servant.
Yeah, it's still like it's so hard to swallow how this old man has like trained to be a Sith his whole life, and he's the most powerful Sith, let's say.
Yeah.
And he's just revealing himself when he is becoming brittle and old.
Yeah.
Okay.
And why not make some sort of phantom, some sort of, like they say, oh, we there's this mystery of the Sith. Well, no, not really. You've known about these Sith lords. I mean, they may have been in hiding for a long, long time.
Well, they say in the movie, the Sith has been extinct for a millennium.
Yeah, I guess so. But where have they been? I don't know. I would have rather seen the beginning of the Sith then. Like, they never go into... They are just worse than a faceless bad guy.
Yeah.
Because they have no origins that we learn of. We don't learn of him finding out that he is evil. I would have actually... Think about this. An origin of Palpatine. That would be kind of fascinating.
Sure.
You know?
Well, even like an origin of Snoke. Like,
yeah.
Where?
Well,
like, what? How did he get the scar in his? No,
exactly. No.
These are situations where marketing has won out over telling a proper story to the people that want to see it.
Very much so.
And I think that it's very telling for this boy's age
mm-hmm.
that the marketing was so strong that this is the demographic that they're going after. They're going after 8 to 12-year-old boys that want to fly around in spaceships and blow shit up and be super cool. The execution of this is fucking baffling, though. And because it was directed and written by one really old man who probably doesn't know how to relate to this 8 to 12-year-old demographic, it comes off really strange. And he throws a lot of shit in there that, like, the Senate and Congress and trying to get elected and shit. I don't know if that's just to, like, try to keep the parents or the older audiences like on the line here, but god damn, dude, do some fucking market research.
Right. I don't think that even people like political wonks would be interested in watching this. They are going to the movie to escape, and I'm not saying every movie has to be like this, but this is Star Wars. We don't necessarily care about the government.
They have cocaine and heroin deals to make in foreign countries for arms.
Exactly. They want the fucking laser swords.
Bullshit. Yeah.
Come on. I can't believe this is the one that they don't talk about lightsabers or say the word lightsabers. Do you know that?
They don't. I think I heard Anakin say laser sword.
He does say laser sword. It's dumb.
So like, you guys have coined the term lightsaber. Why the fuck wouldn't you say lightsaber?
Correct the dum-dum. He's a dum-dum. Speaking of dum-dums, Gungans, are they racist?
Oh, dude. So, yeah. Well, first of all, the Trade Federation, far more racist than I thought.
Very
but
much
the Gungans, oh my God, man. So Jar Jar Binks becomes his humble servant.
Yeah, because he saved
in
his
the first,
life.
2 minutes. I almost didn't get through watching this movie purely because of like those 2 back-to-back scenes.
Yeah.
One, the Trade Federation calls their robots and says, watch out for the Jedi, capture them because they're tricky. I don't know why you have to call a robot to tell them that. I don't understand why you don't just type that shit in a computer.
Right.
And they do it. But second, the very next shot is of tanks mowing down a forest after Qui-Gon Jinn, not shooting at him, not stopping after he just ducks under it.
Yep.
But he gets molested by Jar Jar Binks, and the tanks just roll away, and that's it. And then he becomes their humble servant because he saved his life, and the gods command it. Dude, can't even. And also,
how rude.
How wooed. I don't understand what they're trying to do with their weird accent because like none of them speak like a Gungan that we see.
Yeah.
Like nothing is like subtitled. But they still just like talk in a really weird way, and it's really difficult to understand what they're fucking saying sometimes.
When he said Misa spake, I was like, Misa spake? Me suspect that? No,
Oh, is that what
he's
he? I thought
no,
he was like,
no,
I,
no.
I speak.
I speak. He's like,
Oh,
and then
okay.
because then the response is just because you speak doesn't mean you're intelligent or some backhanded awful
Wow.
thing.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's that whole. I don't get what he was going for exactly, because this is not the 80s. This is not the 70s where sort of casual racism was pretty still understood.
Pretty sought after.
Yeah, exactly. This was a time where sensitivity was, I mean, the 90s were much more sensitive towards stereotypes than any before that, and just to
and still things don't age well from the 90s.
But I guess he did start writing it early on. But I just that's baffling to me. Then they
Jar Jar Binks is a weird character though.
Yeah.
Not only like the racist stuff that, okay, fine, maybe some old person wrote his, and you know they're from a different time and they don't understand what's right and what's wrong.
Sure.
But Jar Jar Binks has zero redeeming qualities whatsoever. He has no skills.
No,
he's not visually appealing. He's not like cute where the kids are like, oh, look at Jar Jar.
Well, they
like,
no.
I don't understand.
I think they were trying to take a new thing on the Ewoks, but the Ewoks were actually good fighters.
They're cute, and they have some redeeming qualities to them.
And they're badass. Yeah, but they sort of technically recruit him. They're like, oh, we got to drive through the planet's core, which what? But also, he was going to be sort of their guide. Never guides them anywhere. Doesn't do any like turn here. Qui-Gon seems to just know where to go in the little ship. He's not a navigator. He's just looking
and he
screws
for Jedi
everything
Jesus.
up. He screws everything up. It's between poop jokes and taxation.
Oh yeah, there was quite a few poop jokes, and also farting. There's a weird shot where the pod race is about to begin, and it cuts to Jar Jar, who's like he's wrenching something, which I don't know why they allow him to do that still. But he looks up, and there's a camel that looks back at him and just farts really loud, and it goes back to him, and he goes, "Oh, gross."
Yeah,
and that's the whole scene.
Yeah,
that's the whole fucking scene. There's that scene that doesn't make sense, and there's another one that's really forced where they escape Naboo. And all the droids go out and they fix the fucking hole in the ship, which I don't understand how they're not all dead.
Oh, and then they
R2 comes back.
Get commended. He gets a commendation.
Yeah,
he's a droid.
They say his name is R2D2, and then Queen Amidala's stand-in, who is dressed as Queen Amidala, commands the real queen to clean the fucking droid up.
Oh, I know.
So she goes and cleans it up in the next scene and meets Jar Jar Binks for no reason. For no reason at all. Like there's nothing. There's no redeeming quality to that interaction whatsoever. In fact, it's super fucking awkward because it ends with Jar Jar like saying weird shit, and then Padme just kind of staring and smiling really nervously at him.
Maybe
and that's it. That's the whole scene.
Maybe she wasn't Padme at that time. Maybe the queen was actually the queen at that time, and she was. I don't know. I still don't get it. I'm
pretty sure it was her though. I'm fairly sure. And this is the only reason why. First of all, I look at the moles on her cheeks because I think that's how I can tell that it's her.
Yeah.
But second, I don't know why they would have shot that scene otherwise.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why, if it was her handmaiden and not actually her, why they would think like, oh, well, we're establishing some kind of bond between these characters.
Yeah. No, exactly. And the bonds,
but the rest of the movie doesn't make sense anyway. So
the bonds are so superficial. They're nothing in this is playful, really, like the first movie, or any of the first three movies. You know, nothing. There's jokes, but there's not playfulness. There's not chemistry, because actually you were talking about
no chemistry.
You were talking about the 7 takes and the 15 takes that it took for them to get that one scene with Jake Lloyd and Natalie Portman. There's a fascinating thing. I just want to read this. Apparently, scenes even of straightforward dialogue may have been comprised of up to 6 layers of computer composited imagery. Do you know that? Like
I believe it.
And so in that scene, actually, the one that they didn't do well, the 2 scenes, the 2 best takes were actually, the one shot was spliced together. And at the end, his mouth was still gaping open, so that took like 15 seconds or something, or whatever. It's patched in. His mouth is patched in from another take.
Yes, and then, I did read that also. And then, what the fuck?
And then she was looking down instead of up, but then the stream, so they they reversed it, but the steam behind her was going backwards, so they had to reverse the steam. It was such bullshit.
Dude, and that's expensive as shit.
Absolutely. And then I had I actually had a friend who worked on like 6 seconds of a scene from the third, Revenge of the Sith, and he said it took like a month to do work on 6 seconds of correcting all of the whatever it was.
I honestly think that episode 3 could be a good potential future episode, because man, I remember that one as being awful too. And that's another one that I've only seen once in theaters. Like this one. This is the second time that I've ever seen this movie.
I'm pretty sure I saw most, if not all of these with you in the theaters.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good possibility. I mean,
all right, let's shift over to Anakin, since we're kind of already shifted to him, because we can't not like just dive into it. It's awful.
Sure. Yeah.
I think that as these prequel movies hinge on pretty much Anakin, maybe Obi-Wan, and maybe Queen Amidala.
Sure.
Anakin has the worst introduction as a character, as the main character for these potential 3 movies.
Yeah.
They walk into a shop and they just basically, they don't even introduce him. They just like call him in, and he comes in and he's just like, I'm a boy and I fix things.
I'm a real boy.
He's not. He's a monster. I don't understand how they were supposed to make this connection where Qui-Gon Jinn's like, there's something special about this boy. They didn't introduce him as like they were in town and this fucking crazy ass pod race is happening, and like this pilot had like insane reactions to things and like was able to anticipate things. There was none of that. No. There was none of that.
Well,
instead they went to the midichlorians.
Yeah, of course they did. The sad thing is, if you had made him 15, make him 15, right? He's still too old to be in the Jedi Council, but he's still super powered. Then it makes more sense that he is good with equipment. It makes more sense that he can actually drive a pod racer. It makes sense that he could steal pod racing equipment. I would have liked a
robot and what else did he do?
He's 10 years old.
I don't fucking understand.
How does he do that? No,
well, actually, there's a very clear explanation.
Yeah.
He's the chosen one.
Ah, yes, of course.
He had no father. He was born into the worst mother ever.
Of course.
Who I believe gambled him away, right?
Gambled both of them. Lost both
of them into slavery.
Yeah, brilliant
and
lady.
She is almost equally a bad actor as he is.
Yeah, and that they just gloss over that. She's horrible.
She's awful. There's not even a tearful goodbye.
No.
Like he runs back and he's like, I can't do it. And she's like, you have to. She's like, forget about this place. I have a real problem. We didn't even get into my heroin addiction, which gave you your midichlorian surplus.
But something else that bugs the hell out of me, and I just realized what it was, is all of this is an attempt to be this high-minded sort of royalty whatever, and all of them speak as if they are rejects from Shakespeare in the Park. Like not in that.
By the way, Shakespeare was actually in this movie as Queen Amidala's like first in command. Who stays behind at the Citadel. I knew it.
Yes, he is. But it feels like everything is so taken so seriously, rather than in the world that we see in the 4th, 5th, and 6th, where it's sort of, even Princess Leia speaks in a more colloquial way, and all of this, it's 32 years. It's not like it was a century or two. The fact that they talk like this is just so plodding and expositional and boring that it makes no sense why any of them are still alive. Kill them all.
Jesus Christ.
No,
well, they get to that in the 3rd movie.
Yes, true. Hey, did you notice Baby Greedo? as one of the friends?
I did, and I think of all the awful kid actors that they roped into doing this, like this someone's nephew, Anakin, and all of his very close friends, they're like, and you put this giant rubber suit on. Like the hands and the mask look so fucking awful the whole time.
It looks like a little kid dressed up as Greedo for Halloween.
Well, when he wins the pod race, like his actual best friend in the movie, who he actually relates to, like tries to like give high five to the Greedo kid, and the Greedo kid can't see shit through the mask, so he just kind of like turns around. The kid's like, yeah, and just turns away. It's very awkward. This whole movie is this is like The Room in space.
Oh,
it's
that
the
is
space.
The space.
The space.
Over midichlorian count over 20,000.
What? 20,000.
Some of the animation, the CG animation, like I looked at not Jabba, but whatever Hutt is running the place at that point. That was.
Is it not Jabba?
No, it's something else right now. But then Jabba takes over. It's one of the Hutts, and it looks like
I really could have done without that.
Fucking reboot level animation, man.
And he bites off the little like lizard's head and spits it at the gong to start the race and makes a fucking speech about it.
I don't know,
man, really could have done without that, because I think that just the mention of the Hutts being gangsters that run this city and not actually showing them commentating at like a city event, like I think that makes them so much more powerful and so much more feared, and actually adds to Return of the Jedi when we actually get to see Jabba the Hutt. Like, oh shit, this is his fucking hideout. Again,
that's what screwed up the re-releases, is revealing Jabba at the in A New Hope. It's dumb.
I kind of wish the entirety of this movie was CG, so I didn't have to see like that boy's face, and Jabba would fit a little bit nicer in there.
Oh my god! What else? One of the announcers, and I think it's because it was Greg Proops, and he was just
was it really?
Dude, the human,
awesome.
the English speaking one was Greg Proops, and he says something about it doesn't matter what universe you're from, and I was like, wait. What universe you're from? All right, sure. But then he says, this little human being is out of his mind. And I was like, oh, so that's considered a human being. I don't know if we've ever been told that, like, the humanoids are called human beings. Because they're certainly not from Earth. I don't know. It doesn't matter, but it's just like these odd...
Should you be Martian if you're born on Mars? Should you be Nabooian if you're born on Naboo?
Right? Exactly. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's definitely another thing that they're just like, this is for 8-year-olds. So they got to be human beings.
Human beings. What did you think about the pod race?
Oh, honestly, so much better than I remember.
Yeah.
Really excited. No, awful. No, but you know,
it's
okay. So if I'm being honest, it's probably
parts, at least.
It's unfortunately like the second best part of this movie.
Well, I actually really liked the video game when I was a kid. Like, it was
the video game
one of the. I think I only rented it because I wasn't going to pay $60 or whatever it was for a Nintendo 64. Just a racing game like that. And you know, it was fun. Sure. It was fine, but it was. I don't know, man. It doesn't make any sense. Why are they all just dying?
Again, open with that. Why not open with that? Also, why not make Qui-Gon Jinn and the rest of the crew like absolutely fucked, instead of just like they need a new hyperdrive and they have a shitload of Republic money. They just everything is it's super passive. Like, why don't you make them like they're in dire need? Like their ship's gonna blow up or something. Like if they don't.
No, there's a point where
they have to abandon the ship, like because they traced it. By the way, they did trace the ship without them responding to that message.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Well, because they received it. It makes sense that they would have received it, and then they would be able to search for them. It doesn't make.
Fine.
Oh God.
Then no, I'm sorry, but the logic should have been then. Well, we received it, so now we have to abandon the ship and we gotta get the hell out of here.
Exactly. They're absolutely
don't let them reply to that, because he said that a couple of times. Like, don't let them reply to that shit.
Oh, I know. They say a couple of things a couple of times. Like there's oh well, they won't let you train them. He's much too old. No.
They also say yippee like 4 times in this movie.
Oh, they say what?
Yippee.
Yippee! Wizard.
Yippee!
Oh,
Wizard.
so wizard.
Yeah. Obviously, this was written by a man who grew up in 1940.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Well, how old is George Lucas?
I mean, he's got to be 73 years old. 2 years old. No.
Too old. Yeah, you're right. Too old.
Too old, sir. Too old. Get yourself out of here. I did like the Tusken Raiders. That was kind of cool.
So, but the pod race is cool. There's some cool things that come out of it. For one, I like Sebulba. I like Sebulba a lot. He's got a cool design. Guy. Yeah, he's a good bad guy. He's a good dragon that walks on his fucking hands.
Absolutely.
And the fourth thing that's on my good list is the sound that little frog guy makes right before he hits that stalactite in the cave and like. No, he's just like.
Oh God! Again, you're right. That's what I noticed through this whole thing. There's nothing driving it. It's all just, well, let's do the things that we have to do while we are here, and then we'll get on to the next thing, and that will be semi-exciting.
And that's fine if that's what you're going for.
Yeah.
But they're not. There's super highbrow things that are thrown into this.
Right.
Like Anakin is bad Jesus, and he's a chosen one. There's a prophecy, and the Phantom Menace, like it's all in the title. Like they are trying to do things. This is all.
I am so disappointed that well, first of all, you know what you could have done? You could have made the Sith not be the bad guys in this one, or have it be something else, because they just it's a boring thing to do that. Let's have a lead off, but have it be Darth Maul. Have it be a guy who killed a Jedi or a Sith or something like that, and he has a staff or something like that. Darth Maul is such a good bad guy for his fighting skills.
Yeah.
I mean, the design, and they knew, I think the creative teams behind other facets of this franchise knew that they had a good thing, because they brought him back in the cartoon Clone Wars.
Yeah.
They actually build him robot legs and bring him back. And I was like, oh my God, what if he had shown up in Clone Wars, the movie, as a continuing bad guy rather than Dooku, which is why do we need another old gray haired dude, fighting?
But Christopher Lee, though.
Christopher Lee. Yeah. But use him as something better. I don't know. Find a better, I don't know.
Well, I think we can go on and on about the bad shit in this movie. But what's on your good list? Like, what are other things that you liked? I think we agreed the shield droids were pretty cool, and Darth Maul.
Yeah, Darth Maul. His final fight, I think, is incredible.
It doesn't even seem like the same movie when they start fighting Darth Maul in the end scene. Like it's very jarring to go from that to this is so wizard in the fucking yellow spaceship.
It's like amping it up. There's death. There's like some serious action that it's like they waited until the end, because even the fight in the desert is like
that's a very weird thing.
2 seconds long,
and I'm here.
Yeah, and then he just jumps up and he's like, curse you, I'm not going to follow you in my ship.
And that's very disappointing also, because that was their chance to have Darth Maul be the Phantom Menace, where he could have been doing shit behind the scenes. But he didn't. He just kind of was like, and here I am on my bike.
Do you know he has 3 lines in the movie?
I think he has more than that, doesn't he?
Nope, 3 lines.
Just 3?
Yep.
Do you know that he only blinks once in this movie?
I believe that.
And that's when he gets stabbed. Because the contacts that he has in his eyes are so layered and severe that it hurt him so much to close his eyes.
Oh no. Poor Ray Park. He's great. And then and Ray Park didn't even get to say the lines.
Oh really?
They redubbed him. Yeah, with Mr. Peter Serafinowicz, who is one of the Nova Corps from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Is that Lord Blackwood?
He also plays the Tick on the Amazon show, The Tick.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, he's kind of cool. He's a good dude.
What else do you like?
I don't know, man.
What?
The design of Coruscant is interesting.
The city, the Naboo city?
That's the shiny city. No, that's the one that the Jedi city. Actually, funny enough, I found out that Coruscant means glittering or sparkling. So, kind of an interesting, stupid
I
fact.
feel like that was just another excuse to use so much CGI.
Yes, it was, but I think there are levels of CGI in this movie, and that was a good use of it because you can't create a full city, but there are other much worse versions of the CGI used. Funny enough, Liam Neeson sets were built only as high as the tops of the actors' heads,
yeah, I did read that.
And then computer graphics filled in the rest. And Liam Neeson was so tall, he cost the set an extra $150,000.
Good, build real things. No more CGI Yoda. CGI Yoda is awful. Yeah. Like, that was my favorite part of what the fuck's the last one called? Last Jedi, was that they had Puppet Yoda, and it's so much better.
I agree.
It brings out so much more of his character.
Yes, it's weird because you could absolutely have a mocap on Frank Oz while he's doing it, but for some reason puppetry is more warm. It's more in the first version in the release of Phantom Menace, they actually used a puppet because the action wasn't there or the stuff wasn't there. Then they went back. They went back after it was released on Blu-ray, or for the release on Blu-ray, and changed it to CGI. Can you believe that?
Awful.
I mean, come on.
Fucking awful.
Why are you screwing with the old shit?
It's so hard for us to stay on point with.
I know. What did you like? I mean, that's pretty much it
besides
for me.
The four things I mentioned, I really like the design of Queen Amidala.
Beautiful.
I think all of her costumes are fucking stunning.
Yeah.
I think Natalie Portman does a good job under all the circumstances.
With what she has, yes.
Yeah, and Liam Neeson he's got good acting in it too. Queen Amidala, like, I appreciate scene to scene that, like, really she has such elaborate fucking costume pieces. And it does make it hard to tell if that's Natalie Portman or if it's Keira Knightley.
Agreed. You know what's sad? I just realized this also is everybody is at about a 50 on the emotion chart the entire time.
Yeah.
Except for when Qui-Gon gets cut in half, or it gets stabbed, and then Obi-Wan screams, and that's like the only time we see emotion. Even when, like you said, even when Jake Lloyd is leaving the fucking farmhouse, he's just like, oh, okay, bye, Mom. That's even his mom is like,
2 points to that.
Yeah.
What is his name? Jake Lloyd.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I did read that he was teased so badly about his performance that he vowed never to act again.
He quit
went into seclusion. Yeah.
Funny enough, he is an editor.
Or is he really?
Well, he didn't. He said in an interview that I saw that he was focusing on editing. Then a couple of years ago, he got in a high-speed car chase with the police and was transferred to a psych ward because he was diagnosed with schizophrenia.
Yes, and that is due to too high of midichlorian counts.
That's the problem.
My other thing that I was going to say from just the emotions is something I've never understood about Star Wars is that the Jedi, they totally, like, they ride that line between, like, good and dark side, because I've seen Luke and I've seen Obi-Wan, like, definitely go and fight with the intent to kill this motherfucker.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't understand that. Like, that's a perfect example. Qui-Gon gets killed. Obi-Wan is definitely going to kill him. He's not like going to just like take away his weapon and capture him.
Kind of the boringness of being a perfect Jedi is everybody is on this even keel. And I would absolutely rather see something focused on something who embraces all of their faults, all of their, you know, they don't limit themselves from just being like, hey, let's take a fucking chill pill and everything is fine. I'm not going to be angry. I'm not going to feel sad. Like, that's not allowed. That's a very weird limit.
Yeah.
You know, they're like almost, monks.
Yeah. Well, I wish the Jedi were like that, but to a fault. Like, God, what's that movie where they have to not have emotions and then
Equilibrium.
Equilibrium.
Wait, no, is it?
Yeah, Equilibrium.
Is it?
Yeah, isn't it?
Nice. Cool. I don't know.
Is it Christian Bale?
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah.
Gun
on the same page. Yeah. I almost wish that they were Jedi to a fault as Sith were Sith to a fault. But you hardly ever see the Sith use their rage and use their anger. Like, you don't see that. Like, where is it?
Nobody does that.
Yeah. I want to see like it. I want to see it be hard to be a Jedi because like you have to be so devout and so in check all the time.
Well, and
we never get to fucking see that.
And I think that would make a very like that would be interesting to see the cracks in the Jedi Council to be like, hey, listen, guys, it's not healthy maybe to be this limited and this focused on pushing all the bad stuff out. Like maybe your theories, maybe your philosophy is wrong.
Totally.
Who knows?
The real Phantom Menace should have been that Palpatine was in the Jedi Council.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That would have been
They're so devout that, you know, they ride the spectrum all the way to the other side, and he's got other plans and he's acting on them.
Well, and then they're ignorant of that because they've turned a blind eye to whatever humanity or whatever humanity nabuity is within them. I think you lose something of your I'm just going to say humanity when you limit yourself. So I don't know. Boo them.
Boo on all of this. None of this deserves any more of our time talking about this.
No, it really doesn't. I just want to talk about some behind the scenes stuff. According to Jake Lloyd, and this is fascinating. I don't know where I found this, but there's apparently a 6-hour-long cut of this film.
Damn, really?
6 hours long, and everyone who said they saw it proclaimed it to be mind-bogglingly good. And I don't know if that's true. Apparently,
I'm pretty sure
also
this was buried along with the Golden Mormon tablets.
Yeah, and E.T. of the video game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Apparently, there's also a lost cut, quote unquote, of Star Wars Episode 4.
Oh, really?
And it's never been released publicly. Did you want to talk about the edits that people have done?
Yeah, I mean, there's been some pretty notable edits that have got some notoriety. Particularly one called the Phantom Edit, which can be found on YouTube. It's shorter than this one, which is great. But yeah, Mike J. Nicholas, he's an editor. He's done a couple of other things, but he, after this surfaced, came forward a while later saying that, yeah, he had just kind of struck out to cut out technically a lot of the bullshit. Most of the droid like dialogue and any Jar Jar Binks scene that was not like necessary.
Yeah.
And supposedly it makes it a lot better.
Nice.
And I could see that. I think that you could take a lot of this and cut a lot of bullshit out. Really, I think you could cut a lot of Anakin out and really make him not the main character, which he barely is in this.
Yeah.
And I think that it would do better. But again, marketing. Like they're trying to hit all the points and get the 4 quadrants.
Of course, absolutely. There's actually a couple of re-edits that I found on the internets. There's a couple of cool titles. The Last Turn to the Dark Side. Star Wars: A Last Hope. Star Wars: A Virgence in the Force. I don't know about that one.
That's about not having sex until you're a Jedi.
Exactly. And then Star Wars 1 through 3, Fear, Anger, and Hate. I actually love that. Like, fear, anger, hate. Interesting.
Also, I do not agree with Yoda's interpretation of why they don't train Anakin. I think it's bullshit.
Why?
That he has fear and that leads to anger. I don't think that fear leads to anger.
No.
Absolutely. I don't think so.
No.
You know what leads to anger is when they don't train this boy that they just separated from his mother and flew across the galaxy.
Yeah,
who has all of this power, more midichlorian counts than Master Yoda, apparently.
Right? Yeah. I think Yoda was just threatened. He was like, nah, this guy's looking for my throne. This was
a forced dick measuring contest, for sure. This Schwartz was so much bigger.
Well, and think about, I mean, if you're right, fear leads to anger. Well, it's because you didn't help him. If you had allayed his fears, if you had said, "Hey, don't worry, kid, we're gonna help you," why push someone away? I don't know. It's very dumb.
Those are the frustrating parts of this movie, where there's there's little tiny like bits of dialogue that come out that have potential to lead into something else, like Qui-Gon saying like that he breaks all the rules all the time, and he just doesn't believe that everything should be followed that way.
Yeah. Well, you know what's so funny also is I would love to see the
Camel
movie.
farts.
The movie. Yep. I would love to see the movie where he breaks all the rules, because he kind of doesn't. He doesn't really do anything to break the rules in this one. Like, they're always alluding to better movies through just the dialogue of saying, "Oh, this is what we're like," and it's because they are clever enough to imagine that maybe somewhere there exists a fun adventure that these people would have, but they're not smart enough to write that adventure. And
let me also pose this, that possibly the Jedi constructed their own destruction by playing God. Qui-Gon Jinn decides that this boy is special and he's going to take him with him, and he uses his Jedi powers to manipulate the bet with, what's his name? Wu-Tang?
Watto.
Sorry. Watto.
He's a Toydarian.
But he takes him away from his mother, and it's not fine. His mother ends up getting sold off to sand people.
Yep.
And that is kind of the final thing that drives Anakin to go to the dark side, right?
Yeah. Yeah. What was did I miss it? There's some sort of tracking chip in each of the slaves. Is that right?
Is there?
That's what he was. There was a throwaway line like, "Oh, I'm trying to build a scanner to find out where mine is." Blah blah blah.
Wow.
Yeah,
it's very hard to follow what that kid's saying sometimes. I'm looking at his dumb pumpkin head talking to these top tier actors, and they're just like,
Can we continue on without this kid?
Am I allowed to kill myself yet?
Oh God, she was in The Professional, man. Natalie Portman was in The Professional, and she was amazing at 10 years old, for God's sake.
Was there an American version of The Professional? There is, right?
Yeah, it's American. It's Leon the Professional.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's the French one came out first, and then I couldn't remember which one she's in. Anyway,
I don't know. In the American one, I think, because that's the one with Oldman, Gary Oldman.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's the bad guy. He's the
everyone. Oh, God. Where are the stones?
So that's a better space movie.
Yes, yes, it is.
Oh man,
dude, such a good movie.
So,
all right, I want to be done with this.
I do too. It's a shame that it took. I don't even know. I'm not going to say I don't like the new 7 and 8, but I don't think we'll ever get back to the simplicity and pureness of 4, 5, and 6.
I don't think that they were that simple necessarily. I think they were well done and thought out.
That's true. That's true too. I guess it's just it's looking back on it, and yeah, you're right. Well thought out. That's true. And good storytelling. Just the hero's journey.
Well. Yeah.
And this one, who was the hero in this one? We had no idea.
We're supposed to believe it was Anakin and Queen Amidala and
Obi-Wan. And
I don't like Obi-Wan in this.
I don't either. I think not Obi-Wan. Ewan McGregor said that 90% of his acting in this was entering a room and looking up, which was fucking fantastic. I mean, they don't even take him to Tatooine. They take him to Tatooine, but he's stuck on the ship for no good reason. I guess to protect the rest of the ship people.
Yeah.
They had blasters. They could have done it. You know, one fun thing that I saw was the Ewok Wicket.
Ewok Wicket? No, what's that?
He's from the third. He's from the 6th movie, Return of the Jedi. He is played by Warwick Davis, and him as a human being with no makeup on was right next to Watto at the pod race. So that's kind of fun.
In all the Harry Potter movies?
Yes, he's Professor Flitwick.
He's amazing. Yes.
Yeah, he's awesome. And
he's a couple of people. Yeah.
Yes, that's true. How about you?
I like that Qui-Gon Jinn's communicator. They only show for a split second. It's actually a Sensor XL razor for women.
No way.
Yeah,
Amazing.
They just glued a bunch of shit on it, basically.
That's cool. Did you notice that the ET aliens, this isn't a surprise, but the ET aliens are in the Galactic Senate?
I did. It's a nice nod to Spielberg.
Yeah, it's fun. One more.
Okay.
And this is dedicated to us, actually. There is a droid, the command droid of the battle droid army is named OOM9, which is our acronym, is out of memory. OOM. Yes. So that's kind of fun.
But we only know that because we title all of our outlines, our episode outlines like that.
Exactly. All right. Next time on... Oh, God, wait.
We got to score it.
Yeah, let's score it.
Does it need a score?
Does it need a score, man? Go ahead.
Give it a single score. All right, I give it... let me give it 3 broken battle droids. Just like it broke so many people's hearts.
Oh, man.
That's all I have to say about that.
I'm going to give it... This is difficult because it has my favorite lightsaber ever. So I'm actually going to give it 2.5 double-edged lightsabers.
I think that's pretty much just...
Does that work?
That's what's-his-face's lightsaber in the new one.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's Kylo Ren's lightsaber.
That's Kylo Ren's lightsaber. That's true. Yeah. I'll give it 1 Kylo Ren lightsaber. Then, this can absolutely go from my memory.
Yeah.
I could
it's
do
got bits
without.
and pieces and a ton of potential, but come on, guys.
It was
get your shit together. You only had 40 years to put it together.
Yeah. Well, that's our review. Email us with your opinion, and I'm sure some people out there will rip us the fuck apart.
Please do. I mean, obviously we just sat here and watched the movie. We didn't read all the nerd books. So.
No, I mean, prove to us
really
that it is amazing.
Is it canon? Yeah,
I guess it has to be.
Yeah.
It was produced.
We're going for accuracy though.
A lot of money.
Right in. Go ahead.
And also follow us on Out of Memory Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
And do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe not Facebook.
Yeah, probably not that.
No.
Let's not go with Facebook. There's a lot of trouble with that. And Facebook owns Instagram, but it's only pictures. Don't worry about that one.
Instagram's better.
Yeah, just go there.
Sure. All right, next time.
Yes,
on
sir.
Out of Memory. Something better.
Mm-hmm. We'll tell you what to do with your leftover hit clips. Remember those?
No. Hit clips?
Hit clips. They were the predecessor to MP3s.
Ugh,
they were tiny little fake tapes that slid into fake tape recorders.
And with that, we are going to slide into a mini coma, and we'll see you guys next episode.
That's right. Bye.
I fucking hate this movie.